Good morning, students. Today we will discuss chapter 6, grade 10th political parties, okay, of political science. So, the chapter starts from your NCERT book, page 72. Now, here the topic which we have to discuss, students, is why do we need political parties? So, political parties are easily one of the most visible institutions in a democracy. Even the most illiterate people are aware of political parties. For most ordinary citizens, democracy is equal to political parties. That is, for common people, democracy is synonymous with the political parties. If you travel to the remotest part of India and ask uneducated person about constitution and about nature of our government, then they will not be aware of these things. It's obvious. But chances are there that they would know something about our political parties. But it does not mean that whatever is visible can be popular also. That is, if people know about political party, then it does not mean that they are popular among masses. But in reality, most people tend to be very critical of the political party. So this we have seen that these are the popular institutions. People are aware of the political parties, their leaders, their local area leaders, but still they criticize them also. So people criticize and blame parties for all that is wrong with others, with our democracy and our political life. So we blame, we criticize the political parties, other parties, all parties we criticize for whatever wrong is happening in our democracy. Now parties have become identified with social and political division. How? Now see, most people of the society are in some or the other way related to party. As political parties put forward their manifestos, the people decide to support different parties and they get divided. Thus, political parties create social and political division. So, we are also attached with one or the other political party. So, in this way, the political parties they create the social and the political divisions in the society. The society get divided into different factions in support of these political parties. Earlier, only few countries used to have political parties, but now there are few that don't have these parties. So why we have to discuss in this chapter what did parties become so omnipresent, widespread in democracies all over the world. Now we have to define political parties, we have to see the meaning of the political parties. A political party is a group of people who come together to contest elections and hold power in the government. So political parties contest elections and then they form the government. They agree on some policies and the programs for the society with the view to promote collective good. That is, the political parties, they formulate certain policies for the people, keeping in mind the welfare of the people. Policies are made according to the needs of the people, urgent requirements of particular area, and so on. So when political parties make policies, they keep in mind the people belonging to all stratas of the society. Now page 73 of the same chapter we have to discuss, students. So political parties they formulate policies for promoting the collective good of the society as a whole. By doing so, parties try to convince people why their policies are better than the other parties. So they seek to implement these policies by winning in the elections and thus forming the government. So political parties show political divisions in the society. Some people support one political party and others support the other political party, thus forming the political divisions in a society. So parties are part of society and this involve partisans and partisanship. So what is the meaning of here partisanship? Means party is known by the policies it support and whose interest it fulfills. Now here the partisanship means when a person is strongly committed to a party group. Partisanship is marked by a tendency to take a side and inability to take a balanced view on an issue. So again, I'm repeating what is the meaning of partisanship. So it's important, can be asked in 1 mark. So it means when a person is strongly committed to a party or group. And partisanship is marked by a tendency to take a side and inability to take a balanced view on an issue. So when person can't see anything else, when they can't make difference between good and bad, they are just committed to their parties to which they are attached. So that is a feeling of partisanship. Now political parties has 3 components: students, the leaders, the active members, and the followers. So the leaders, those who have the powers, the political leaders, those who contest election, form the government and makes the policies for the country. So they are the leaders. Like if we talk about BJP, Shri Narendra Modi, Shri Rajnath Singh, so all these are the leaders of BJP, the top political leaders. Then the active members, those who don't have any powers, those who work actively in the party, providing base to the party. So they actively manage the programs of the party. And then the followers, those who are the supporters of the party. Now on the same page, we have to discuss the functions of the political parties. So basically, political parties fill political offices, exercise political power. So let's see how. Now parties contest elections. First function, the parties contest elections. This is very important, students. Listen very carefully to the functions because the question is asked on functions only. So parties contest election. This is the first function. In democracies, elections are fought mainly among candidates to whom political parties give ticket to contest elections. So political parties select their candidates in different ways. In some countries such as the USA, the members and the supporters of the party choose its candidates. Now more and more countries are following this method, and in India, our top party leaders, they choose the candidates for the contesting election. So in our case, leaders take the center stage in taking all the important decisions regarding the party. So this was the first function, that parties contest the election. Now second is policies and programs. So parties put forward different policies and programs in order to attract the voters. So each of us may have different opinion and views on what policies are suitable for the society. So we have different opinions and the party form that opinion and government takes decisions on the line of the ruling party. So this was our second function, that parties put forward different policies and programs, and each one of us have different interests to be fulfilled, but it is very difficult for government to handle this variety of views. So in a democratic or in a democracy, the policies are made by the government keeping in mind the larger interest of the society. So in a democracy, large number of similar opinions have to be grouped together to provide a direction in which policies can be formulated by the government. So this is the work of the political parties. So a party reduces a vast number of opinions into a few basic issues which it supports. So a government is expected to base its policies on the line taken by the ruling party. Now page 74, students. Now we have to discuss the third function of the political party. So parties play a decisive role in making laws for a country. So laws are discussed, debated, passed in the legislature. During discussion, members of the political party agree to their party leadership. Top leaders of the party influence the laws being made. Personality of the leader also matters. Strict leaders will go for the strict reforms, and they go by the directions of the party leadership, all the members, irrespective of their personal opinion. So all the members, other political leaders, members of the political party, they have to accept the decision of the top leaders. Then fourth point is parties form and run the government. So the big policy decisions are taken by the political executives, that is the ministers, and these ministers come from the political parties. So political parties recruit, appoint leaders, train them, give them training, and then make them ministers to run the government in the way they want. Then is the next function of the political parties, role of the opposition also they play. So they keeps check on the working of the government. Those parties that lose in the election, they play the role of opposition to the parties in power. So opposition keeps the government on its toes by criticizing their policies. So opposition strongly criticize the government for failure in the policies or wrong policies. And opposition parties also mobilize or gather opposition to the government. The next is now the sixth function. The parties, they shape the public opinion, that is the views of the public. So parties raise and highlight the issues. Parties have lakhs of members and activists spread all over the country. So they also work towards the party welfare. Many of the pressure groups are also extension of the political parties among different sections of the society, like the farmers pressure group, that is the Kisan unions. So the political parties also launch movements for the resolution of problems faced by the people. Okay, like nowadays the Congress party is helping farmers in Punjab. So often the opinions in the society are formed on the lines political parties take. The next point, the seventh function, is access to the government machinery and welfare schemes. So parties provide people access to government machinery and welfare schemes which are implemented by the government. Like it is easy for the ordinary citizen, it is easy for them to approach a local party leader than a government official. We can approach the local area leader easily than the government officials. That is why they feel close to the political parties, even though they do not fully trust them. So parties have to be responsive. They have to react quickly, positively to the needs, to the people's needs and demands. Otherwise, people can reject those parties in the next elections, and if parties will not work according to the needs of the people, then people will not elect them again. So for ordinary citizens, they can easily reach their local leaders, and their local leaders are gateway to reach the policies and programs of the government. So now students, the same chapter and the same page 74, but topic is different now, that is the necessity of the political parties. So this is the second topic on the page 74. So we need political parties because they perform all the functions which we have earlier seen. Now question arises, why modern democracies cannot exist without the political parties? So for that, let's imagine a situation without political parties when only independent candidates will contest the election. Then what will happen? No uniform decisions will be there. No major decisions will be taken. No one will be able to make promise to the people about the policies. Elected candidates will be accountable just to their constituencies. No one would be responsible to look after the country. So now let's see the non-party based elections to the panchayat. Although the parties do not contest formally, it is generally noticed that the village gets divided into more or one group or the faction. This is exactly what the party does. They divide the society into the political divisions. We are representative democracies. Means when we elect our representatives through the mechanism of election, and then these representatives, they formulate the policies on our behalf. So the rise of the political parties is directly linked to the emergence of representative democracy. We as citizens don't have this much time to gather and discuss each and every issue. We don't have time, we don't have skill. Gathering can be possible at very small level, but gathering for discussion at the large scale for each issue is not possible. So as societies become large and complex, they also needed some agency to gather different views on various issues and to present these to the government. So now page 75, students. So when societies grow, then they need some ways to bring various representatives together so that a responsible government could be formed. They needed a mechanism to support or stop the government, to make the policies, justify or oppose them. So political parties fulfill all these needs that every representative government has. So that's why we can say that parties are a necessary condition for a democracy.